In my earlier videos, I mentioned that I would be getting rid of the problematic African Americans, the ends. I'll have a buddy program introduced. So if you believe that it's not right to send them back, that we instead should rehabilitate them, help them actually integrate into society. Okay, I understand your sympathies and your empathy towards this community. And I'd be willing to do this under the condition of the buddy system. And what is this buddy system? Well, if you have a black friend that, we or I as emperor would have deemed unfit to be a part of civilized society, and in further aspect, a part of American society, and he would be shipped off back to his home continent of Africa. But you said, wait, emperor. He's one of the good ones. I'll vouch for him. This is where the buddy system comes into place. So we will take your word, and the only way you can be a part of the buddy system is if you are a white European American, okay? Because Hispanics, you're the next group to go. Like, how are you going to be saying that this person's good when you're next? You're next to leave the country. And I know it's a bit, the bean calling the other bean brown, right? Because I am Hispanic myself. But look, I love this goddamn country, okay? Do you see me speaking Spanish? No, I'm speaking fucking English because this is America. We speak English here. All right? I do know Spanish though. Okay, for the record, I do know Spanish. Yeah, so you can only be, white to be a part of the vouching system. And essentially, this is how it's going to play. We will rehabilitate these people, try to help them as much as we can, right, until we deem them worthy. I'm going to have a whole team deciding this, right? It's not just going to be me. Again, I'm emperor. I have a bunch of shit to do. I have people to arrest, corporations to investigate. I got a lot of shit to do, okay? I can't be, focusing on just one thing. I am going to have a sort of council, but not... they're going to be my advisors, but for specific things. So there's still going to be a head of, energy department. There's still going to be someone that's the head of, like, our security details and everything of the nature. I am just focusing on the things that I as emperor can focus in on and actually change, right? Like using the feds, right? The FBI and all the other agencies that I will then be head of to arrest the people I deem worthy of being arrested, right? So that's how that's going to go out, at least for the first few weeks. After that, I'm still going to have a shit ton of work to do, so, there's going to be other people in charge of certain aspects, and if there's some misplay happening or there's something that needs my attention of these groups, of these factors, then I will then step in and review the actions of the people I entrusted to do these things and how they're fucking failing me. And then I'll have them beheaded because you failed your emperor. I'm joking. I feel like that's what people are expecting me to be. Like, just, oh, you've disappointed me. Off with your head. Like, bro, no. Like, no. But like, you will be losing your position of power, at the very least. You may leave with your life, but you will not be gaining any kind of authority ever again. At least under my rule. Maybe once we step away from me being emperor and going back to the republic, then in which case, then yeah, maybe you can, run for office or something. I don't really know. Regardless, going back to the buddy system, if this African American, person that you vouch for harms the workers who are there to rehabilitate them and, like, test them to see if they're truly worthy to be a part of civil society, if they harm individuals or destroy government property, they will then be deported to their home continent of Africa, and you will go to jail for their crimes, because they would have never have been able to commit those crimes. They would have never been able to harm, the mental evaluators or whatever the fuck, all the helpers. I don't know their specific jobs. Excuse me. But, all these people, they would have never been able to harm anyone if I had just deported them like I wanted to. But since you wanted to stick your neck out for your friend and say, no, he's one of the good ones. He's not an end. He's not one of these uncivilized individuals. Well, we trusted you, and someone got hurt. So justice must be served. He's going back to his home continent, and you, my friend, are going in jail. Now, granted, I'll be fair, right? Because I know these people. Like, I don't know them personally. I don't want to. I don't want to be friends with a bunch of ends. But I'll be lenient. Instead of giving you the full time punishment for their actions, unless it's something serious. Again, like if it's like just destruction of government property, I could have told you they would have done that. If it's like, minor bruising of an individual, you'll face more than at least 25%. You'll probably face that like at 50, right? If they harmed an individual. But let's say they unalive someone, or they, rape someone. Yeah, buddy, you're taking 100% of their crime, and you will serve the full sentence. Okay, so the question is, right, and essentially what this buddy system does is question the person who wants to apply for it. Do you truly believe this person to be your friend? Because you're sticking your neck out for them, and if they do anything, you will be the one who is punished. So it's really, this buddy system, what it really is a test of friendship, right? You believe this black individual to be your friend. You believe them to be worthy of civil society. I say they're not, right? We've determined, my people, my tests have determined they're not worthy to be a part of civil society, and so they should be deported. But you're saying they are. Well, let's find out. So you'll face a percentage of their crimes depending on the severity of it, okay? If it's nothing crazy, we'll probably just give you $1,000 fine or some shit, right? Depending on how much was damaged, etc., etc. But again, this is the buddy system. This buddy system is my way of meeting you in the middle. If you believe we should be more sympathetic and caring for these individuals, okay, then put your money where your mouth is. Okay, because it's easy to say, oh, we should care for these people, we should look after them, we should do all this. It's like, okay, yeah, that's easy to say. What happens if they hurt someone? What happens if they destroy things? What happens if they rape someone? What happens if the worst happens? How do we achieve justice for the individual? That's why the punishment would be on the individual who allowed, that person to stay and be rehabilitated. There will be a limit. I'll give you a limit of 2 people. So one white European can vouch for 2 African Americans. Right? I could say 1 for 1, but we'll do 1 and 2, right? If they both commit heinous crimes, you're especially cooked. If they commit lesser crimes, well, then again, you're just gonna have to pay double the fine, and they're still getting deported, by the way. So this is the meeting in the middle for everyone who doesn't want to just immediately deport them, right? Are you willing to stick your neck out for these people you may or may not know? And that's another thing. You don't even have to know them. You just have to be willing to risk your freedoms for them. Okay? So if they do something, you're going in the box. Do you trust them? If not, then let them fucking go. Let me do my job as emperor and send these fucking blacks back to Africa, Let me do my job as emperor. If not, fine. But then when they do something, right, because I would expect them, I would never, me as emperor, I'm not sticking my neck out for any of the blank people who would essentially after my tests on the black Americans, they would be shown to be ends and uncivilized, I wouldn't stick my neck out for any single one of them. If you know one of them personally, I could maybe see why you'd want to like potentially again stick your neck out for your friend, but not me, man. I'm not sticking my neck out for any of these blacks. They're all getting sent back, all of them. Well, all of the ends in the black community. Again, there's that distinction because not every single black American is going to be, considered uncivilized and deemed to be sent back to Africa. There are some African Americans who are, functioning members of society. They don't live off of welfare. They don't live off of EBT food stamps. They don't live off of Section 8 housing. They have 40 full-time jobs, 40 hours a week, maybe even more, right? Like, not every single black individual in America, falls into the category of being an N. Obviously, who, I'm not saying that, who is. Well, I guess some people do. But regardless, not every black person is going to be a part of the system and being sent back to Africa. So you don't have to worry. It's not going to be just like, oh, if you're black, you're going back. It's like, no, no, no. If you're black and retarded, you're going back, and it just so happens to be that it's gonna be a lot of them. It's gonna be a lot of them. You know what I mean? Like, and it's truly vile, right? It's truly vile. I'm going on a little bit of a tangent. This doesn't really have to do anything with the buddy system, but I kind of want to talk about it. Whenever the blacks speak, you really notice the degradation of the English language. And like our English, not the Queen's English, fuck the Queen's English, I speak American English, not European English, okay? Not British English, okay? Cuz they say Z instead of Z, they have a U in their color. It's ridiculous. Like, what are we doing here? Okay, American English is far by better, and if you're a Brit saying no, mate, our English is better, you have bigger things to worry about than whose English is better. Take back your fucking country. How about that? And then we can have this discussion, this debate on which English is superior. It's obviously ours, but regardless. So it's the degradation of our language, bro. Like, they can't say the word axe, or excuse me, they can't say the word ask. They say axe. Let me ask you something. Let me ask you a question, man. Let me ask you something, man. Maine. What the fuck is Maine? Man. Let me ask you something, man. Let me ask you something, bro. Ask. Like, they can't pronounce the S, right? What's another thing? They just talk like, and especially in the hood culture, you'll notice this, right? Like, any kind of race that isn't black, and they hang around the ends, the hood, African Americans, you can see it in the way they speak. Like, you'll see white chicks, well, really any kind of chicks, but it's a real tragedy when you see white chicks, because it's like, damn, I know your grandfather is depressed, you know. Hell, I'm fucking sad, for your grandfather, because it's like, bro did all that, survived, all the European constant bloodshed just for you to be attracted to some fucking black person. Sad, sad. But like, you'll see, like, Whoa Vicky is a prime example, right? She was talking about some catch me outside, how about that? And I'm pretty sure she is black, to be fair. However, how she speaks is how every race that is influenced by these hood communities speaks. They speak with a lesser form of English, right? And they try to, I'm pretty sure they've recognized, African American vernacular has like a whole distinct language, which is just retarded. How is it its own distinct language? They've butchered our English to a point where, yeah, if you're not retarded like them, you don't understand them. Like, It's like in Fallout New Vegas, if you have a low intelligence build, you talk to the who's the guy? Where he's I believe he's outside of the strip. You ask him if he's seen anything, and if you have high intel, you can't understand him. But if you have low intel, you understand him perfectly, and you're having a good conversation with him. It's like that. Like that's not a new language. That's just being on the same level of retardation. So it's ridiculous that because I believe they've acknowledged it and said classified it as its own unique language, which it's absolutely not. Regardless. It's depressing when I see things like that, like non-blacks speaking like blacks. It's like, wow, that's it's infecting people, bro. It's affecting society. It's like the same shit with like people who say, oh well, what's wrong with two guys loving each other? What's wrong with two guys fucking each other? It's like it hurts society. Yeah, maybe it doesn't hurt me, like harm me in any physical manner, but it's disgusting to me. Okay, it's very disgusting, and well, as a Christian, obviously, it's an abomination against the Lord, and we're taught to not do this shit. So seeing that and then allowing it's like a constant like nagging, right? Like, ugh, it's disgust. So yeah, one gay couple doesn't do anything, but 50,000 gay couples, because it's been normalized. Okay, well now that's doing something. Now that's affecting society, right? Now they want to communicate and post fucking videos about how they're gay and shit. And then what does that do? It spreads their ideology. So it harms societies, right? Which is why I want to get rid of these fucking blacks, because they harm society. I mean, look at the whole fucking trend right now with the blacks. They're putting fucking Kool-Aid and pineapple and fucking pineapple juice, and then reselling that shit for like 100% mark. Yo. I mean, hey, you know what? I am a capitalist, so I guess at fair play capitalism to that in that specific matter. But still, bro, like these motherfuckers are putting Kool-Aid packets inside of pineapple juice, letting it sit there, and then reselling the product. I'm pretty sure I also saw them now doing it with just any kind of fruit. Any fruit, they're doing it. Like, bro, like that's where diversity is our strength. This is what we get from having them here. It's not worth it, bro. Send them fucking back. And as emperor, I will send them fucking back. But yeah, it's just not worth it, man. It's not worth it to have them here. And then I'm also gonna mention this just as a closing note for the buddy system video, because I don't want to have it drag on too long. Carmelo Anthony's case was just decided. They gave him 35 years. It was either 35 years or 35 years to life. Sorry, I've just been reading a bunch of fucking constant news updates. Regardless, they sentenced him, right? And look at how the fucking black people were reacting. They're over here wanting a fucking race war. They're over here fucking saying, oh, we're on our own because, the justice system's failed us. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Carmelo stabbed Austin because Austin told him to move. Even if Austin shoved him, that doesn't give you the fucking right to pull your knife and stab a motherfucker. Could you imagine that? You shove someone because like they bumped into you and this altercation's brewing, so you shove someone to create space, and then they pull a gun out and just fucking shoot you, and then and then their lawyer claims it's like, hey man, that was 100% self-defense. Like, no, bro, that was not self-defense. You know what I mean? Regardless, yeah, these fucking blacks are going crazy, or as Chud would say, they're fucking chimping out over this case. And I mean, again, like, is this where diversity is our strength? Is this what we gain from allowing them to be here? Having them complain and want to riot for a case, right? I'm pretty sure they were also complaining that there was no black jurors, deciding his fate. What does that matter? Right? if I'm Hispanic and let's say I do something, right? I'm being brought up on some bullshit charges that the feds make, right? And I look to the jurors and all of them are fucking white. I'm not gonna fucking bitch and say, where are the Hispanics? Where are the other Hispanics? I don't feel represented. You know, I don't think this is gonna be a fair trial, bro. I trust these motherfuckers. They're the ones. The Europeans are the ones who made this system. They're the ones who made this system. You know what I mean? So like, regardless, it's ridiculous. These people are crazy, and again, it's not all of them, but it's a lot of them. These people are crazy. They just need to be sent back to Africa where they can live out their tribal dreams. You know, you want to stick together and be one people and attack others? Do that shit in Africa. I mean, they're still doing it to this day. You know, they're constantly fucking killing each other, blah, blah, blah. And then you got the fucking retarded white liberals. I'm not gonna lie. See, I would be a Christian emperor. So, like, if I wasn't religious, I would just sterilize all of the leftist men and women. Like if you're like a full on retarded lefty, you know, who believes in transgenderism and believes in all this other shit. If I wasn't religious, I'd just sterilize all of you or give all of you lobotomies. You're just retarded. You know, we shouldn't even have to listen to your opinions, right? But because I am religious, I can't give the order to sterilize these people. You know what I mean? I can't give the order to sterilize them. Anyways, that's going to be ending the video on the buddy system. And maybe I'll add things to it. So maybe I'll do an updated buddy system or some shit. I don't know. But for the most part, that's it, man. If you think someone's worthy to stick out your neck for, do it. And then if they act like I and my counsel believe them to act, well, guess what? You're going in the box, man. You like Uncle Sam, I want you in the box.